8:37 now, $1 million. That used to be seen as the gold standard for retirement.
But today, depending on where you live, that amount may not stretch nearly as far as people think.
I want to bring in our chief business correspondent, Taylor Young. Taylor, we know the cost of living continues to increase, but $1 million suddenly sounds like a lot of money, right?
It absolutely does. And I want to start off by saying that if you have $1 million in retirement savings, do not be discouraged by this story, because that's more than the average American has right now, well more than the average American. But will $1 million last you as long as it used to? The answer is no. The gold standard in 2026 is to have enough money saved in your retirement to last you 20 years, because people are living longer. But in many states across the country, $1 million won't even last you 10 to 15 years. So that's the reality. But of course, a lot of this depends on where you retire. Well, according to a 2025 report by AARP, these are the top 5 destinations Americans move specifically to retire in. Massachusetts is number 1 and by far the most expensive. $1 million is estimated to last you only 10.8 years. Florida, I don't think this is a surprise, is number 2 with a cost of living around $61,000 a year. $1 million will hold you over for an estimated 16.4 years. Illinois in 3rd for 17 years. Kentucky 17.7, and right here in North Carolina, which is ranked 26th in affordability across the country, $1 million will last you on average 16.7 years. And I will say the cheapest states to retire in are not the ones that people typically would gravitate to. That's Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, where that $1 million will last you roughly 20 years, which is kind of the mark that people are hoping for.
So Taylor, what are some of the factors they look at when they're trying to measure how long that those retirement savings can last?
So the big 3 are housing, healthcare, and location. Of course, housing is by far number 1. That's the biggest line item in your budget, right? So it really depends on whether you own your own property, your own home, whether you're still paying your mortgage or if you're renting. Healthcare is of course a wild card, because we know that tends to get more expensive the older we get. In location, of course, if think about your state taxes or just cost of living, again, housing. And I think the important part to note here is, it really varies even within a state, right? We heard North Carolina, that $1 million can last you 16.7 years. But let's just look at housing, because on average, housing costs a new home around $330,000, but in Charlotte, it's over $400,000. So it really can vary town by town, city by city, even though North Carolina is ranked 26th for affordability.
Okay, Taylor, so if $1 million used to be the goalpost, where is the goalpost now? How much should Americans have saved?
So according to a federal study, the average household around that retirement age, so we're looking 65 to 75 years old, the average amount they have in savings is around $200,000. I will say that does not account for Social Security. And even today, I mean, there are households that do okay living off of their Social Security checks. But I think if you were to ask a younger generation now, people who aren't going to retire until 30 to 40 years right now, that new magic number is now $2.3 million. So more than double what that kind of gold standard was a decade ago.
And all of our eyebrows just shot right up to the ceiling when we heard that. So for people who are so many years away from retirement, what should we take from this besides that amount?
Well, I think the number 1 thing to take away from this is that it's never too early to think about retirement, right? To think about those savings. But experts say instead of having that magic number, and I know a lot of younger people today see that 2.3 million and think that's what they need, but instead of having kind of a goalpost like that, just think about keeping your money in maybe the stock market, investing, or just saving consistently rather than having this goal that you want to set. But I think if you were to take anything away from what we're talking about, is that location does matter. Where you work, where you live after you work should really be something that you're thinking about, considering it varies. It's not going to be the same as it is in Massachusetts, than it is in North Carolina, than it is in Florida. So just something to think about.
So maybe look at a property in Oklahoma,
Oklahoma,
or Alabama.
Go ahead and invest now.
Those mountain beach cabins in Oklahoma, they are dirt cheap right about now. All right, Taylor, thanks so much. Appreciate that.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.